just because of my English, but these are my collection. There are many, but I just took few of them. Then this is the modern history of, some of you would think that why am I showing you this? There's a story behind it. Typing messages on WhatsApp. I anyways do not prefer that typing of ABCD. I rather prefer sending voice notes. Many of you have multiple time asked me this question, that how did I learn English? And I know that somewhere you guys need one line or two line answers so that you can extract something from my story and you can follow it too. But let me tell you, it cannot be of one line or two line answers really, because it's a story and I need to narrate it like a story. But do not worry, this video is all about the resources I used in my journey, and I'll keep it precise and to the point. Also, there is a fact that when you learn this language or try to learn this language, irrespective of the level you are at, beginner or upper basic or intermediate, upper intermediate, okay, above basic, I'm really sorry, we don't call it upper basic, above basic, then intermediate or upper intermediate. What happens, different people come with different opinions. कोई आ रहा है कि ये कर लो, कोई आ रहा है वो कर लो, और आप जो भी सुनते हो, you just start following it blindly without even realizing that what's your level, what's your need. You just start doing it. It's not a rat race that everybody is doing, so you'll also be doing it. When I was at the beginner level, I might have had the thoughts like this, but let me exactly tell you what worked for me, what I did to myself, and all of that. And also, as I was talking about that different people come with different opinions, so it happens, and in your case it becomes overwhelming sometimes. As I told you, that when people would have started, they might have been at different levels, they might have had bad pronunciation, they might not have been able to frame or structure the sentences properly because they would have had problem in grammar, so they had to work on that, and that's why they chose to start with grammar. Somebody chose to start with the pronunciation part, because what happens sometimes, if you speak, you are probably not framing the sentences properly, but if you have a good pronunciation, it looks attractive. And even if you are good at writing, you are good at framing, you don't make grammatical errors, but if your pronunciation or tone is not good, so it does not sound well. That is also the reason, because a lot of people face problem with their mother tongue influence. So, you cannot compare yourself, oh, he's doing that, he's working in his pronunciation, so I should also work on it first. They are working on their accent, so I should do it too. No, man. You have to first analyze what is your need. And anyways, as I told you that I'll keep it to the point, I'll keep this video precise. So for that, I have some points to share with you. You always come and ask me, as I told you, that you want to know that the things I used or the resources I used. And I'll still say there's nothing as such big or massive or special, or there was a mentor I had, nothing as such I had, but still whatever little I had, I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to divide it into 4 steps. First is books, apps and websites. Third, I have made the point so that I don't forget it and I don't deliver something unnecessarily. That's why I thought of making it points. Okay, let me repeat the points. The books, whatever the little resources I had, with that knowledge or with that memory, I'll be sharing the books. Nothing as such books, but still you'll hear me out. You'll watch this video right till the end, and I am pretty sure that you will be able to find out the solution. You will be able to understand how language works and how you need to work, or the time that you have to give to it. Okay, I'll come back to that points part, but before that, I need to tell you that you have to visualize the things now. Just imagine that what I am going to speak in this video today, imagine that I am in that level still, and I will be imagining basically that I'm still in that level. It's a kind of throwback thing. And you have to put yourself in my shoes. That if you were there, how would you be doing that? Would that be working for you? All these questions you need to ask to yourself. And I'll repeat one thing, that you have to be ready with your pen and copy. Because whenever we talk about points, you need to have it written, because I needed points, so I needed to write it. So whenever you talk about points, you have to write it. Just get ready with your pen and copy. 4 points I'm going to talk about: books, apps, and website that I used. Second one is interesting. Third is YouTube channels and podcast. Fourth is practice techniques, because you may be having a lot of things, stuffs, contents, everything, but you don't know how to practice it. So the fourth is practice techniques. Let's start it one by one. The first, I'm going to talk about the books. Okay, the books part is also very interesting. I in 2019 I started with Wren Martin, because just the way you people have this concept that grammar is something that we need to start with, I had it too. I had a high school book of my brother, Wren Martin. And then later I got to know that it's a very good book, but at that time that was the only option or the choice for me. I picked up his book and I started reading, not reading, but let me tell you, there used to be the book of Wren Martin. I'll show the picture of that as well. If I had that right now, I would have shown you, but I have different books, but not that, it must have kept somewhere else. I couldn't find that just. I used to have a copy along with that Wren Martin grammar book, and I started with nouns because I thought that I'll be covering page by bus. I'm just trying to be honest here, okay? But this is not how you have to do. I told you that I'll imagine myself exactly where I started from. So that's what I'm doing. Page by I used to turn the pages. The first was, I still remember the what do we call sentences. Now I have forgotten. Sentences, different types of sentences, then nouns, pronouns. I started with the parts of a speech. I hardly reached until the clauses part, I remember, and verb forms always interest me. That time also it was interesting, so I reached somewhere till that point only, and then I got bored with the grammar part as well. Then I thought of checking the last page just like other students do. Then I started checking the last pages, and the essays were there, letters, applications were there. Okay, so I read that book up to 2 to 3 months, but it did help me. It helped me in a way that I was able to organize my thoughts with the structure part. But I was not that bad in 2019 that I didn't know how to frame the sentences. So you can tell me that when I started in 2019, when I thought that no, I have to speak fluently now, my focus was on speaking part, I was, or I might have been at above basic, because basic people who cannot frame the sentences, but when I used to frame, it was little understandable. So okay, yeah, this I read until up to 2 to 3 months only, and then after that what I did, I okay, again I think I'm doing it like a story, but do not worry, that was the first book, Wren Martin. And the second, I tell you, I want to show you some, this is very interesting. I won't say that these books I read just because of my English, but these are my collection. There are many, but I just took few of them. Then this is the modern history of, some of you would think that why am I showing you this? There's a story behind it, but I don't suggest you that you would read these books. I told you, that you just need to put yourself in my shoes, but it doesn't mean that you will be following all of them, because I had a different situation. As I told you, that when people start, they are in a different situation, they have different mindset, different IQ levels, and they have different circumstances for sure. Okay, so what I want to show you here, and how you can get something from my video. Hold on, let me show you one by one. I just got distracted. Then some of the books just I tried to show you guys, so that I can prove that for reading I used to do all these things. Now what my point is, the only book I had specially for grammar was Wren Martin, and apart from that book, and that too I studied, that I studied that, I went through that book only around 2 to 3 months. Now what's the story behind these books? I was preparing for UPSC, of course, UPSC, IS, IPS. It was my dream. I badly wanted that, but just the way climate changes, within few days, my, I won't say my dream changed. Universe made me do all those things because it's all about destiny, and I'm very happy whatever I'm doing right now. What you can learn from it is you don't need to make extra efforts for your reading, because read, if you are not a book reader, if you're not habitual of this, or if you're not accustomed to reading different books, then it will be very boring at first. And for that, I would suggest you do not make extra efforts. If you're a student, read something that you feel can help you in your English, because these NCRT books of 6 to 12 and this Indian polity, everything, these books help me a lot. Okay, I loved it. You can see the condition of this book because I read it a lot. You can see the markers as well. I used to do the same way any UPSC aspirant does. It was so interesting. And if you are not a student, if you are a homemaker, or if you don't really have any books around, then pick up your favorite novel or pick up your favorite storybook. But you need to read. But just because it's all about my resources that I used for myself, so I will not be speaking more than this because I have already spoken many things in many videos. Second is apps and websites. Now this is something can really help you, and this is worth explaining too. If I talk about particularly the application part, so in November 2020 or probably in the starting of 2021, an application was so much in trend, and that was Ace Fluency. I also got to know about that application or got recommendation of that application through YouTube videos, because that was the moment when I used to search a lot about English, that how to improve English, how can you learn it at home when you don't have mentor and stuffs like that. I used to get a lot of suggestions too, but I followed only that could really help me, because I always use pen and copy, and that helps me a lot. That helps me to avoid unnecessary points or unnecessary things that may not help me really. And apart from Ace Fluency, there were many applications, or I think almost all the applications I downloaded in my mobile phone that could help me improve. British Learning, the name was something that was helping me with my grammar. It has levels like intermediate, basic, advanced, upper intermediate. It has basically divided into these different sections. It can help you. Then I remember Cake application was there. Then an application was there for pronunciation. I'm not recalling at this moment, but I'll be posting the links of these applications in my description box. Do not worry about that. Then another application was English Conversation, where you have to speak in one side, you are given chance to speak, then another side a bot is there. You can record your voice, how you were sounding when you were speaking. It's basically for your practice, so that you can get accustomed to these normal and regular conversations. You definitely get the feeling of having a real conversation when you speak to bot, and it's good. Mostly spoken applications help me. Ace Fluency was there. Then Talk Show, no, not Talk Show, I'm sorry, Talk Buddy. There is an application named Talk Buddy, and similar to Ace Fluency, you give few minutes for the free conversation with the real people around the world. Nowadays, I guess people are using CV application the most, so CV is fine, you can use. Again, you will get some free talk time, and there is one feature of AI also in CV. So CV is better now. At this moment, it's better than Ace Fluency I used to use at that time. Now, third point is YouTube channels and podcasts. To be very honest, Alina Reis inspired me a lot. I think she was the first YouTuber I used to watch a lot. I learned a lot of things from her. Somewhere I used to get the similar vibes from her, so I liked her videos a lot. I followed her suggestions, I heard her story too, and it was all good. Then one Urban Fights I used to watch back then. These videos I used to watch just to get motivation, and of course for the tips and the suggestions that you guys are also looking for now. Apart from this, podcasts, or you can call the stories I used to watch for the learning part with the subtitles. I started with the animated stories. There was a channel named Jessica's channel. I watched that a lot. The videos were so amazing along with the subtitles. And the best part was the subtitles they used to have of their own, because sometimes when you enable the automatic subtitles, then these are not so good, because you may have some different words that are not really mentioned in that video, and some wrong subtitles basically are there. So I used to love that Jessica's channel. And some one more is there, that's something MV, not something with M. I'll post the link of that channel as well. Now, the fourth and the most interesting part is practice techniques. I would love explaining about this. The first thing I started with, it was actually inbuilt in me, because I have been talking to myself since my childhood. The only difference is, when I in my childhood, when I used to speak, it was in Hindi language, of course, because I never thought that okay, let's talk to yourself in English, because I didn't do it purposely. It happened. I told you, it was somewhere inbuilt. People have this habit, I guess. If you're not considering me lunatic, if you're not considering me abnormal, I think it's normal. So the first thing that I used to talk to myself, yeah. But when I got to know that talking to yourself can really help you improve in English language, then I changed the language. Then that day, in my washroom or anywhere in the kitchen, I've thought that now, if I need to talk to myself, I used to say like this, Tanya, you would not be using Hindi language anymore when you're talking to yourself. You have to talk to yourself in English. And even if you're talking and you're not getting any ideas, or you're not able to structure the sentences properly, no problem. Speak it wrong. But if you have mobile phone available with you, or it's nearby, then search it then and there. That's what I used to do, the first thing. The second is, I later came to know these recordings and all can help you a lot. Why now I've emphasized on this part, that film yourself. I do it because I did to myself. Filming yourself, I did not really start with the video recording, because this video part came later on. First I started recording my voice. As I mentioned that I like hearing my own voice, whether I sing or I speak anything, then I love to know later that how I was sounding when I was speaking. So I used to record the calls. If I got chance to speak with somebody in English, the recorded calls I used to hear, that was the another part of recording. Then sometimes, as I told you, that I was in a community, so in that community, if we used to speak, so I used to record that call. So that recording call helped me a lot, because when you record yourself purposely, you are getting the point. Sometimes you're not even getting. Yeah, one thing I did, that was the best part, I guess. I switched to voice recording instead of typing messages on WhatsApp. I anyways do not prefer that typing of ABCD. I rather prefer sending voice notes. That was also one thing that I committed to, that I would be sending voice notes as much as possible, even in professional cases. And that's okay, you can record your voice. If you are doing it in English, oh, you have to do it in English only. Okay, the recording part, then later after few months, it's not about many months, just after 1 or 2 months, I came to know that okay, let's do it in the form of recording, you're filming yourself, so that you can make the eye contact with the camera, and it will give you the similar feeling as if you are talking to somebody, because there also you have to make eye contact with that person. Sorry if I'm speaking a little faster now. Okay, now then I started with this video recording part. This was another part of my practice technique. And then when I came to know also that mirror practice can also help you, then I tried the mirror one also. It was little boring, because we anyway see ourselves, our faces, and when you see your face again in the mirror, no, I love my face, I'm sorry, we shouldn't say that. We should respect what God has given us. Okay, anyways, mirror practice, to be honest, it was little boring, but I did that too for few days. And if you find it interesting, you can do it. When I used to practice with mirror, I used to say that, hey Tanya, how was your day, tell me. Then I used to reply to myself that, oh, it was a good day, I did this and this. Yeah, one more thing, amazingly crucial, it's just fantastic, and that is explaining your day. Right now I'm shooting this video, it's around 9 p.m. in the evening. This is the best time, or when you, before you go to the bed, this is the best time when you can explain your entire day. Today I woke up at this time, I brushed my teeth, I took shower, basically the right pronunciation, I had my breakfast, and I did all these things. So you have to explain the entire things in the past tense. Then if tomorrow is Saturday or Sunday, you can explain it in a way as if you are planning for your weekend. This will give you the sense in future tense. These things are very crucial. I don't know how you are able to feel my words or not, but it's very important. And then if you talk about the simple present tense, if you want to speak with, then if I ask you that what do you usually do, what is your hobby, तो मीन्स रेगुलरली जो हम करते हैं कि आप क्या करते हो एंड ऑल, तो मैं उसको ऐसे देखती थी, ठीक है, कि अगर मुझे रेगुलरली कुछ एक्सप्लेन करना है, कोई मुझे पूछे कि what do you like, what are your hobbies, what do you do in your free time, so these questions also I used to answer, or I used to learn to answer, that how could I answer these questions. Then later I focused on question part the most, that how can I ask questions to people, that how was your day, how has the day been, and all those questions, that is there anything interesting you are doing lately. The lately word I remember I learned from that 4 years back or 3 years back, from those animated stories, and it's all fun. Just do the basic things only I used, and these are my resources. As I told you, that is not something special or unique that I tried or I did. It was very basic, very normal. That's all, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope I have mentioned all the things that I wanted to, and about the links and the resources part, so you will find them in my description box as well. You can check it out. Thank you so much once again. See you soon in the next video. Until then, bye bye.